kind of a lot. I only just sewed all of that in like the last 3 weeks or so. I'm filming. Thought someone knocked on the door. No, never mind. I was hearing things. Hi, check out this shirt I made. Isn't it so cute and the most summery fabric you've ever seen? I've been on kind of a garment sewing kick lately, and so today we're going to talk about sewing clothes. I have been asked for a long time now to make garment sewing tutorials. I do have a few, and those still get traction and attention here on YouTube, but I haven't made very many. I've really kind of stuck to the quilting and other projects genre of videos, and there's a few reasons why. So we're going to get into that. We're going to talk about some basic tips for finding patterns to sew for yourself, the changing pattern industry, and where I am now finding patterns in fabrics, and sort of my strategies for making this fun and not frustrating. So we are in for a great conversation today. I'm Nikki. This is Pin Cut Sew. So glad you're here. So I haven't made very many clothing sewing tutorials, even though my history with sewing started out with clothing. I started sewing clothes when I was in middle school, and into my 20s it was something I always loved, not necessarily as much during my maternity and postpartum years. And then for several years I sewed a lot of my clothes. I would say like 60% maybe of my wardrobe was garments or was handmade. For the past few years though, I'm in a very small space, plus I'm doing what I'm doing for YouTube, which takes a lot of time and also is just something that's just been more joyful for me as the quilting part, because I'm 43. Bodies change a lot after age 40, and I found myself unable to sort of make the patterns fit like I used to be able to. And I didn't feel like I really have the space for spending a lot of time to make it work. So I sort of took a break. I would sew something here and there clothing wise, but somehow lately the bug has come back to me. And I don't know if I was just using it as a distraction for what else is going on like in our life with our house drama and all of that, but I sort of got hyper fixated on sewing some summer things. And this is what I love about it. Everybody has certain fit issues that when you wear your clothes are always a problem. Everybody has those. I know you do. I had less of them in my early young years of sewing, when I basically could make the size out of the pattern envelope and it would always fit. But now there are certain things, like I have a larger bust than average, and I have a sway back and a short back. And so I always get a lot of pooling in the back of my tops and things, even my store-bought ones, tanks and everything, and it's really annoying. And then like in pants, I often have a lot of extra fabric in the back of the legs. So those are two things that once I knew how to fix them in sewing patterns, I could make things that fit. And so I really needed some summer tops that weren't just like schleppy tanks and tees. And so I downloaded some patterns and got started. I ended up making 3 tops out of the same pattern, 3 shorts out of the same pattern, another couple of tops, and I just kind of went crazy. So I'm going to show you all of that stuff in a minute. But I also just want to hear from you in the comments about what you would like to see me post as far as garment sewing videos. I am not a pattern drafter. People go to school for that kind of thing, and I don't want to learn that. So there are some pattern drafting systems. Like my mom used one. She made herself a perfectly fitting, I think it was called Sure Fit Designs, and I'll link you to that, because she's really loved it. And so she was able to make a sloper that fits her, and now she can take that sloper, which means like a basic pattern that fits you perfectly. She can take that sloper and add design elements from other patterns. So that is a good option for pattern drafting, but I want to leave the drafting to the already pattern makers. I don't want to learn how to do that. So the content that I could make for you is more like this kind of thing, show and tell what I've made, what changes I made, what fitting issues I have that I've been able to solve, and also techniques. Like I've been doing this for many years, so I'm very good at like facings and hems and sewing with knits and those kinds of things. So I could make technique videos also that you can apply to any top with a facing, things like that. How to line something, those kinds of things. Or I can just stick to showing you what I made with pattern and fabric suggestions. If that's something you'd be interested in seeing, let me know and I'll do it. And a note on fit for a second. Like I was saying before, when you notice something, because I can't possibly address every single fit issue, because fit issues for me were hard to work around, but I have learned the ones that I need. I've not learned the ones that everybody else needs. So my tip is start to notice how your clothes are fitting you and what's wrong with them. Like I was saying, for me, it's always too much fabric in the back and always too much fabric in the back of the pants. So if you have an issue like that, or if everything's always too tight or too loose in the bust, look up a full bust adjustment or a small bust adjustment. You can look up a sway back adjustment. You can look up a short leg adjustment. You can look up a flat seat adjustment. That really is what it's called. A low seat adjustment, a sloped shoulder adjustment. So if your shoulder seams are always coming forward or always falling back, that's a shoulder issue. So once you learn those things about how your clothes are fitting, and you can learn that from even your ready to wear clothes, then you can go look up resources. Like I found an excellent YouTube tutorial last week about how to eliminate some of that fabric in the back of the leg. So I'll try to find that channel, because I bet she has other fit tutorials also. It was so easy and so good. So that can help you. And my other suggestion is to just be really patient and don't expect to create yourself a brand new wardrobe in a week's time. Like, let it take some time, because I've noticed that when I was in phases of just whipping out a lot of clothes, they didn't always get a lot of wear. I was just making them because I enjoyed to make them. But now I actually really want a closet full of quality things that I really wear. Much more of a minimalist now than I was 10 years ago. So I don't want to just crank out things. I want to notice what I need. Like I really needed some summer tops. And so I made some summer tops using just one pattern. So let it be slow. Make a muslin. That means, some countries call it a toile. That means like a practice garment out of excess fabric or cheapo fabric, or a bed sheet or muslin fabric, so that you can transfer your fitting adjustments onto the real pattern so you can cut your nice fabric. Okay, so if you have not heard, the pattern industry is really changing. I think it's very interesting. Well, if you haven't heard, the big four pattern companies, Simplicity, McCall's, Vogue, and Butterick, which are historic pattern companies, have announced recently, or maybe they didn't announce, but somebody found out that the American branch of that has been sold off to a liquidator. And having just been through the Joann's thing, I think we all can infer what that means. But we don't need to freak out, because there's an entire industry now of indie sewing patterns. Yes, they cost more. It's true. Yes, you have to print them and tape them or use a projector. It's true. But I don't think that we need to have a sense of doom about it. I'm sad about the big four if they go down, because they're historical. They've been around forever. I did a podcast episode on this, if you remember. And I think it would be a sad loss. But I also don't know that they were doing a good job keeping up with the PDF pattern industry. And just like Amazon and Walmart came through and wiped out a bunch of small companies, in this case, I think the indie pattern companies came through and wiped out the big ones. And so it kind of is what it is. I guess it works both ways. But I think we just need to get used to the idea of not being able to go out every month and buy 10 brand new patterns for $1 each. That was crazy anyway. Like, you don't need 10 new patterns every month. You don't need 10 new patterns every season. You might need 10 new patterns every year. So as far as cost goes, I think we just need to shift how we're looking at having new things, and think wisely as a consumer that if I buy one pattern for $12.50 and make it 7 or 8 times in different ways, I'm actually getting more of my money's worth than I was if I was buying 10 new patterns and making one of them and never even looking at the rest. So, and yes, the printing and the taping can be obnoxious for some people. I've gotten it down. I find it kind of therapeutic. It's like putting together a puzzle. I can make a video on that because I have a really, really easy way of doing it. I'm not trimming anything. I'm not putting together a giant sheet. Also, there are options to get it printed. I know there are some resources, and I just learned of one the other day that I can put a link to when I find it. I will find it. I remember the person on Instagram who posted it, so I'll find it and post it. Who will just print the full sheet for you, or you can find someone locally to do that. Yes, that costs more money, just like your printering costs money. It's true. And the projector thing, I know people are loving, and in the future I might try that, but I don't really understand how you would make pattern adjustments. I think you have to learn like software in order to do that, and I don't really want to do that. Trying to get my life more analog, not more digital, if you know what I mean. So anyway, it's something we have to work around, but don't worry, there are plenty of patterns out there. So even if the big four is no longer available, or if you can't get them as easily as you used to now that Joann's is gone, it's okay. It's gonna be okay. I personally am just trying not to whine about the changes and embracing them instead. And it's working because I have some great garments to show you that I've made lately. Okay, so let's start with this pattern that I'm wearing right now. This is my kiwi top. See if I can get far enough away. Okay, Okay, see, it's a little bit shorter length. It has, well, I added these ties to it. This is my absolute favorite one. This fabric is a cotton lawn from Califabrics. I'm gonna tell you some places I've been fabric shopping at the end. But this one, it was a designer dead stock, and you can tell it is like really, really beautiful, flowy cotton lawn. Love the kiwis. I got a compliment on it today from my chiropractor. And this was my third version. This pattern is the Helen's Closet Reynolds tee and dress. Not tee, tank and dress. And it is a basic shape. The pattern has wide straps. It comes in a shirt length and a dress length. I'll have Layla put a line drawing right here. Actually, I can just get it out and show you. Okay, I found it. Reynolds by Helen's Closet has a tank and a dress. It has pockets, which I will leave off because I only like pockets if they are tacked down. So when I buy something store-bought that has pockets and they're flopping around, I either cut them out and sew up the side, or I top stitch them down. I really only like pockets that are not gonna flop around. That drives me really crazy. It adds bulk to the hips. I don't like it. So it's my unpopular opinion for today. Not everything needs pockets. Okay, so anyway, I first made it out of this fabric because I had a lot of this fabric. I also got this cute cotton from Califabrics, I'm pretty sure. It reminded me of a Liberty print. This was the first one I made, and since I had a lot of this fabric, I used it as a wearable muslin. If it wouldn't have worked out, it would have been fine. But it did work out. It was a little short though for my taste, so I added a ruffle to this one. And then on the second version, I added actual length to the pattern piece so that my future ones could be longer. Then I made this one out of a vintage embroidered tablecloth. People have controversial ideas about this. I don't have a problem cutting up old linens. This one had a hole right in the middle and it had some stains I had to work around. So it can either languish in my drawer forever, get sent to a landfill by a estate sale company, or I can use it and wear it. So I used the corner of this, and so it was cut on the bias because this was the corner of the tablecloth, which made it fit a little bit different. I had to add some armhole darts and things like that, but I did lengthen this one and it's a perfect length. Both times I've worn this out now, I have gotten immediate compliments. People really love this. I also put the design on the back. Isn't it pretty? I think it's so pretty. Okay, and then this was the third one I made. And on this one, I lengthened and I made skinnier straps and lengthened them so I could tie it. This is my favorite one. This is probably my favorite summer top right now. I love it. Okay, and so then, I don't know if you've heard of Seamwork, but I was a subscriber for a long time, and then I was taking a break from sewing clothes, and so I unsubscribed, but I still had a lot of credits left. With Seamwork, you pay a monthly price, and they come out with 2 brand new patterns every month, and you have access to the entire library. So you get 2 credits per month, and you can use those credits on any of the patterns, the new ones or the old ones. But there's several patterns on there for free, and one of those free patterns is the Hansie, Hansie, Hansie top. And so I had this pretty rayon in my drawer. This is from Califabrics too, I'm pretty sure. And I like this fabric. It's a little bit of a granny floral, I think, but this color is really beautiful on me. So I used this as my wearable muslin, and I wouldn't have been devastated if it hadn't worked out. So, but it did. I really like it. Next time I will size down 1 size because I did end up having to take the side seams in. And on all of these patterns, I was able to make a sway back adjustment. So all of these tops now are fitting me so beautifully in the back. Any drapey top that I've ever experienced, I've had so much extra fabric in the back that from the side, I just look like a bubble. But I've been able to figure that adjustment out so that now everything is just fitting and flowing and it looks nice from the front, the side, and the back. So this is a free pattern, the Hansie, and I think it would look good on pretty much anybody universally. Let me see if I can find the envelope so I can show you the lines. Okay, here it is. It's pretty basic. This has a pocket on it. I didn't put the pocket on my first version, but I might on the next one. I actually think it'd be nice to make this a little bit more fitted out of a medium weight denim that I have. I've seen some very cute denim tops out there lately, and I think that'd be really cute. So I might try that. I actually got some really nice denim from Hobby Lobby. I bought 4 yards because it's so beautiful, the color and the weight. So I'll try this one too. Okay, the next pattern I made is also a Seamwork pattern, and this is also estate sale fabric. This is the Romy top. Pretty sure it's Seamwork. I'll check in a minute. And I like the little bow feature. This is not a normal style for me, the Peter Pan collar and the little bow and the puff sleeves, but I thought it was really cute. And it fits me really, really well. So I actually made this out of 3 cotton tea towels I found at an estate sale. They all coordinated, and I was like, ooh, That would be so cute as a shirt. But I knew going in that this is not my most flattering color. I look much better in saturated colors. So what I'm gonna do is I bought some dye. It's blue, it's navy. And I'm gonna dye this and see what happens. Tell me if that's a bad idea. But it's cotton, so it should dye pretty well. And I just know that I would wear it a lot more if it were a color that looks good on me. But yeah, I really like this top and I will make it again. There's a lot of the Seamwork patterns also have adaptations, like it's like a bonus. So there's a Romy bonus for this that's a button front version. So I'd like to try that too. This is the line drawing for that one. This might be my favorite. Oh, I also have, before I show you that, I'm also about to make the Reynolds top. I'm gonna make the Reynolds dress out of this beautiful rayon linen. I think it's rayon linen, also from Cala Fabrics. And I bought this a while back, but it needs lined. So I just bought from Mood, I got a cotton wall or a cotton lawn that's like thin enough to and flowy enough to line this. So I'm actually gonna start on this today. I'm very excited about it. This color white looks good on me. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. Okay, and then I tried another pattern company called True Bias. I'm sure you've heard of them if you sew clothes. And she has a brand new shorts and pants pattern out called the Casey Boxer Shorts and Pants. And I almost died when I saw that there is a mid-rise option because one of my particular fit issues is that I am high-waisted. So this high-rise trend has been really, really hard for me. I don't wear it well. My pants, if I do a true high-rise, my pants end up like just a few inches below my bust because this is my natural waist and this is my bust. So I start to really look like Urkel. So the high-waisted stuff that's been dominating the market has been really challenging for me. I even have a video about how to lower an elastic band on a pair of pants because, and a lot of people have found that really helpful. I still get comments on that video. But the Casey Boxer Shorts has a mid-rise option and I've made 3 pairs. The first pair I made out of a an estate sale set of bed sheets. It's a king size sheet and it was the fitted sheet. It's 100% cotton. It feels so nice and I have a ton left of it. So if this had not worked out, then it wouldn't have been sad. I still have plenty to make probably another pair of these plus the pants because this pair ended up being quite a bit too big. Like it's still wearable, I wear them, but after I made the other 2 pairs, when I sized down, those fit so much better. So I might either take these apart or remake them. This pair I did put pockets in, but if I remake these, I'll have to cut those out, but that's okay. The next 2 pairs, I did not put pockets. I made this pair with some skinnier elastic. Isn't this cute? This is a Liberty cotton print I got from Mood when I ordered that white lining fabric and I used a thinner elastic. But then on the 3rd try, I got them absolutely perfect. And this, you'll notice this matches my Reynolds top. So look, now I have a set. Isn't that cute? These, I think, now that I have it down, I can sew these up in under an hour from cut to final hem. Like they're so fast if you don't do the pockets. I think I'm going to make a pair of pants out of the yellow sheet with the pockets. And I also just ordered some cute plaids because there's a big boxer short trend where people are just wearing them as shorts. So I think having the buttons on the front is so cute. The rise is cute. They're so comfortable. One of the things I don't like about ready-to-wear pajamas is that I have some sensory issues around the waist due to an autoimmune condition, and I hate anything remotely tight in the waist. And I really just, like every pair of pajama pants that I've tried to buy at the store or shorts, the elastic is too tight or it's too rigid. And I really, really, really hate that. So to find a pattern that I can make over and over, I don't see this style like going out of style anytime soon. Like this has been around for ages, but finally it just fits perfectly. And now I have this pattern in my arsenal that I can make over and over again, forever. Okay, I found it, gosh. This is the line drawing for the Casey Boxer Shorts and Pants. Pretty simple, but really, really well drafted. And then for knits, I don't have these to show you, but I also ordered from Surge Fabrics, S-U-R-G-E. They have a lot of knits to choose from. And so I went and ordered 1 yard of 4 different things just to see what I like the feel of. And I really like the Cupro rib. Let me see if I can pull it out. I'm not gonna get it. I have to move the camera and everything to open that drawer. But it's like a nice feeling rib knit. One of them I didn't like how it felt at all, but the other 3 I really liked. So I used the one I didn't like to make a muslin of this ringer tee by True Bias also. Really nice. I also tried to make the dress, but a t-shirt dress on my body shape, it's not for me. So I cut it into a t-shirt instead. It's not my favorite fabric, so I'm just going to stick with the tee pattern, but the tee fit great. So I'm gonna remake this in some of those knits that I bought. And also I have the Dawson tee by Helen's Closet, and I made this over the winter a few times and I really liked it. So I'll use this too. I also want to try a True Bias tank pattern. I can't remember the name of it. Let me just find it. Oh, it's the Zoe tank and dress, and I like it because it has thinner straps and a V-neck, and I think it's really pretty. So I'm going to try that pattern too. I haven't bought and taped that one together yet, but I plan to. T-shirts are fun to sew because they're fast, so you can just batch cut a few and sew them up once you find a pattern that works. Okay, so that's all the show and tell I have for this time. It's kind of a lot. I only just sewed all of that in like the last 3 weeks or so. I'm filming. Thought someone knocked on the door. No, never mind. I was hearing things. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I like stress sewed all of these clothes in the last few weeks because not only did I really need clothes this summer, I was just trying to escape the house drama that we're dealing with. So, but it has been very productive, and I'm glad that I wanted to give some of the indie patterns a try. And now that I have a few basic ones, like this top, for example, I already did this alteration and I made a ruffle on one, and now I can alter this into a V if I want to, and that would look really different. Different fabrics and small modifications, nobody will ever know that you're making the same pattern over and over, right? So I just encourage you to give some of these patterns a try. As far as picking what company works for you, I feel like I have found 3 that fit me well, and now I don't know that I will really need to branch out. So I picked Helen's Closet initially because Helen specifically and me have kind of similar body types. Like, we're not the same size, but I can tell that she has similar features to my body. She seems a little short-waisted. High-waisted, not short, but she has a bigger bust. She just seems more shaped like me, so I picked her for that reason. And then also True Bias, like, I like that she doesn't put a ton of ease in the patterns, like things just fit really well. And then Seamwork also seems to fit me pretty well. I think with all of these I need to size down. I tend to be making a size too big almost every time, so I don't know if that's because I'm used to the big 4 patterns that usually I find don't fit across the bust or anything, because I haven't had to make a full bust adjustment on any of these, whereas in the big 4 patterns I always do. So that's pretty interesting. If you are a plus size person, I highly recommend checking out Cashmerette. They also make the regular sizes now too, but they're known for their plus size ones. A lot of these companies have extended size ranges that the big 4 don't really have. And they have those projector files, so if you want to get a projector, they make them really easy nowadays. They just sit on your desk. You don't even have to like mount them to the ceiling or anything. So when I do have a bigger space, I look forward to trying that. We'll see. I don't really mind taping them together. I know it's a waste of paper and printer ink, but anyway. And then as far as how I'm storing them, I have a little file box, and I'm just putting them in these manila envelopes, taping them here. I don't always print the instructions. I can just read those off of my laptop or my iPad while I'm sewing. So that's all I have to show you. Please chime in your thoughts about this changing pattern industry and what patterns you have tried that you loved, and advice for others wanting to start sewing garments or wanting to start with indie patterns. And yeah, also tell me what kind of garment sewing content you would like to see here. If this was fun for you, or if you are only here for the quilting and the other stuff, you can feel free to say that too. I'll see y'all soon. Bye.